Howdy folks, Keywii here, and welcome back to Suzerain. I didn't forget the name of the game for a second there. So we got 3 news reports, and then we got to do some things in Whole Sword, including, our Rumberg stuff, our war stuff. Alright, so, nationwide mobilization order. Attention, all able-bodied citizens. By law, you're required to report to the nearest Swordish Armed Forces Recruitment Center immediately. You'll be tested for aptitude and receive your orders. On a failure to abide, severe legal action will be taken. Do your duty to your nation. They better include women in this forced war propaganda thing. Make love, not war. Following a mobilization order issues by the government, the reality of the war with Rumberg is drawing closer. We must do whatever is possible to stop the war. If we fail to do so, thousands of people will die. In the name of politics, reach out to your local politicians, tell them to fight for peace. We need to prevent a large-scale conflict no matter what. We would fucking love to avoid that shit. Go talk to the Queen of Rumberg. She started this. We do not want a future where our children will be left fatherless and motherless. We want to see a future where the people of Sordland make love, not war. Okay, hippies. Rumberg prepares for an invasion. Troop deployments and movements near the Sordland-Rumberg border have increased tenfold over the previous weeks, signaling a potential hot conflict brewing. The recent nationwide mobilization order also proves that Sordland is preparing their defenses against Rumberg. Regional neighbors and alliance of nations urge calm in the region with the exception of President Smolan. For now, peace in Eastern Mercopa is hanging by a thread that is almost about to snap. And we are unfortunately on the receiving end of that instigation. God, is this what Franz Duke Ferdinand felt like? Nationwide mobilization order has been issued to reinforce our manpower pool. New recruits will be mostly serving as reserves, but we will prepare for the worst-case scenario. Approximately 1 million men have been recruited so far, and they will begin their accelerated training immediately. Okay, let's listen to the declaration of war against Rumberg. I was standing the exact same podium overlooking the Hall of Pride where my inauguration took place. However, the mood this time was far from cheerful. I looked at the people of Sordland below. They were gazing up at me with confusion and concern. Gloria approached me hurriedly and whispered into my ear before I took the stage. I just learned that the impeachment trial has been dropped due to the war, Mr. President. She quickly went back to her spot. I couldn't help but smile. Oh, do I want this now? My name was announced. I stepped forward as the cameras flashed. The crowd started clapping. They stopped clapping as soon as I showed up. So, this is the situation. Normally, I've tried to be diplomatic, but now I must encourage. I must inspire the people. I can't just sit back here and do my willy-nilly, we need to fix things in the background setup that I've been doing for the whole time. Nuh-uh. This is a war that I didn't ask for and I specifically didn't want, but I'm in. I'm in charge of the defending half. So, I need to make sure that the defending half is prepared to hold the line and push the envelope. Not really. My brothers and sisters. The clapping and cheering faded to a deafening silence. As you have heard, yesterday Rumberg declared war on Sordland shortly after their dastardly attack on our sovereignty in the past months. Attacks. Multiple. If their damn queen thinks that they can get away with killing our soldiers, then I will tell them think again. Unfortunately, the times of peace are coming to an end due to the aggressive actions of Rumberg. It is my duty as your president to inform you that in the following days our country will be targeted by more heinous attacks by our enemy. Absolutely not. Fortunately, the times of peace have come to an end due to the aggressive actions of Rumberg. Now, this isn't encouraging them yet, but it is targeting them. I need to target them. I need to say, look, the enemy's over there. Now let's stand up, sort of thing. As the strong and proud Sordland, we have many enemies because they are jealous of us, of our prosperity. I mean, I'm not sure that one works. I might go for it, though. Sword citizens, we have all sworn an oath of this country, and we're prepared to defend it to our last breath. Sword's army is standing ready and vigilant to defend our country against any threat. This is actually a good choice. I'm not sure where to go with this one. I'm feeling 2 a little less than the other, than 1 or 3. 1 feels like an outright lie, but also, I don't have to care about lying in this particular instance. But also, just calling it that they're jealous of us seems a little petty. No, we're the bigger country here. We're the bigger men and women. We're the bigger. The Swordfish army is standing ready and vigilant to defend our country against any threat. They're playing with fire. Let's teach them that the fire that burns inside the Swordfish people is unlike any other. Very good. They used our good intentions to maintain peace against us for far too long, so I say that's enough. We have no that's also pretty good. We have no choice but to take the next steps against this unwarranted war they are instigating. I mean, maybe if I had started with that one, but no. I'm in it now, so we gotta pump it up. They're playing with fire. They dare attack Sordland, my Sordland. There's a price to pay, and they will pay with their lives. Our people, our territories, our home is in grave danger due to the hostilities that are yet to come. Our armies are already in the process of halting their advances. This follows the last one very nicely. It flows very smoothly. From like they will play with fire and they will burn. Our armies are already ready. I like that one. It flows nicely. The news might be worrying, but do not be afraid, Sordland, because I, Anton Rayne, am here. Nah, I'm not gonna pull an All Might. Promise you this: we will be victorious. I want to call on the international community to condemn this deliberate attempt to disrupt the world peace. I promise you this: we will be victorious. They want war, so be it. War it is. I announce that Sordland is hereby declaring war on Runeberg. Fortunately, they're giving us no unfortunately, no backpedaling, no wishy-washy nonsense. We didn't ask for this, but we're gonna fucking pick up the phone. I announce that Sordland is hereby declaring war on Runeberg. If they want war, so be it. War it is. They will tremble before our might. When we are done with them, we will dine in Thornburg. I have no doubts that we will emerge victorious from this senseless conflict. You can't insult, you can't like bring any negativity anymore. It's all positive now. We are done with them. We will dine in Thornburg. Gressy, Sordland. Yeah, this one actually is very, I didn't say it before because I'm like, we're not in war. Fucking, why am I gonna do a war thing? But we are in war now. This is real. So we're gonna fucking tradition it up. Crowd started chanting my name. Soldiers and military staff stood up and saluted me at the same time. Salute the crowd. I'm gonna raise my fist. We didn't ask for this war. They fucking gave it to us. So we're going to give it back to them. I left the podium as the crowd roared even louder. Regardless of my bravado during my speech, I was worried about what the future would bring. I mean, yeah. I had to wait to find out. I'm a diplomat at heart. I know how to talk to the people. My decisions are stupid, but I know how to talk. Oh wait, continue. Is this the... There's only 10 turns in a game. Wait. Runeberg ships sunk and captured in Markian Sea. Runeberg's navy has been spotted patrolling the Markian Sea. Even Sordland's improved fleet has not been able to keep their ships entirely at bay. Reports of Runeberg's ships sunk and captured. Reports of ships sunk in the naval battles are mounting substantially. Fortunately, the losses are mainly on Runeberg's side, with the Markian Sea primarily under Swordfish control. We have managed to sink or capture hundreds of trade ships carrying supplies for Runeberg, some even disguised as civilian boats. Excuse me. Alright, what do we got going on in Narble? Runeberg artillery targets destroyed. Ooh. We stopped the continuous shelling of Narble by Runebergian artillery yesterday night. Our artillery brigades have targeted their locations and destroyed their heavy weaponry in a counter-artillery strike. Our division will take this opportunity and attempt to break through to create a pocket to trap the enemy tanks. Victor insists. Finally, some good news. Suzerain War Report. Heavy fighting broke out as Runebergian soldiers advanced on the defensive positions in Suzerain. We have lost 87 soldiers, 2 tanks, and 14 warplanes. Runeberg's attack has been thwarted, but the assaults are expected to continue. Behind the front line, a special operations team managed to sneak into the enemy territory and demolish the entire anti-air system What? They were spotted by the enemy and an airstrike struck their position. The situation is expected to deteriorate. So yeah, we're focused on the front line here, but they're focused on the back here. They're trying to like push us. So I feel like they're trying to like pull in so they can surround us. You know, that feels like a thing they would do. Rumburg war crimes. In the places Rumburg soldiers managed to break our defense, there have been atrocious reports of war crimes. These reports outline death marches on the dislocated civilian populations and mistreatment of prisoners. According to a field commander, they do not fight like a regular army. Reports of new chemical weapons have been sent over to Whole Sword. The war crimes will be reported to the international community for the whole world to see. I don't like that we are the ones being tested upon, but it is good that they will be seen as the enemy. Ooh, okay, I will get back to that in a moment. First, I want to see the country overview. Military. At war. Well, okay, fair enough. In a state of war with Rumburg, the military is engaged in the war. Unruly generals that are experienced, adequately equipped. Military. Lack of reservists. Military interference in politics. Lots of stuff going on. Let's read Lockhaven first. Our front lines request more supply. Our generals in the front line are requesting more ammunition, grenades, and medical equipment on the front line. According to their reports, our troops are barely holding the line, and some of our soldiers can't even shoot back due to the lack of ammunition. Artillery units have to fire selectively, which caused a big rift between our generals on where our focus should be. Unfortunately, we are straining our resources and won't have enough to support the entire front line. I can spend those resources now. I have the money now. Battle of Estord conclusion. Oh. At 400 following the day, Rumburg troops defending the eastern front of Estord routed. In that crucial moment, Rumburg's commander made a decision that changed the tide of the battle. He ordered all divisions to withdraw to the central area of the city. At 1100, as our troops pushed in the vicinity from all sides, the Rumburg general ordered all his men to do a final assault to the east to break out. We were caught off guard, and by the time the other armies got to the eastern front, the fighting turned into a melee. They managed to break our eastern front and stopped our pincer. With their rear free of our soldiers, they turned around and commenced a final assault on our remaining armies. Uh-oh. Read the report from Estord. The Battle of Estord. Hospitals and schools bombed. 700 in the morning, Rumburg armies marched into the city of Estord. The city was empty, its citizens having been evacuated days earlier. That's very good. That's very good. At 900, while the Rumburg armies were savaging and looting what was left of Estord, General Lancia sounded the signal for an all-out assault. At 1245, our first wave clashed with our southern flank. At 1513, our pincer attacks started to take shape as the eastern and western armies began to enclose the enemy. The intensive fighting happened both in the sky and on the ground throughout the night. Bombing in the schools. Rumburg bombing runs began yesterday night. They have leveled most of the urban areas, attacking hospitals and schools alike. There are many dead among the civilian populace. Local commanders report civilians and wounded children are inside their latest target. These target areas. We are sending more anti-air systems to Estord to defend the city, but the local defenses are heavily damaged. Nothing is good, let's say. Sordland goes to war. So it's come to this. Sordland is indeed going to war with Rumburg, following what President Rayne referred to as a dastardly attack on our sovereignty by our northern neighbors. In a speech at the capital, he expressed his confidence in our military's capabilities and promised citizens that Sordland would emerge victorious. We pray for our country's good sons as they march off to the front lines. President announces senseless war. More innocent people in both Sordland and Rumburg are about to be killed to serve their government's twisted ends. Anton Rayne has announced that following Rumburg's provocations, Sordland has no choice but to engage in war, which we reply, there's always a choice. Sordland has already seen so much bloodshed in its history. How many more young men must die before it stops? Okay, hippie, first of all, we didn't fucking want this. Christ. Confirmed Sordland-Rumburg War. Speaking from the Hill of Pride in Whole Sword, Swordish President Anton Rayne gave a speech announcing that his country would indeed be going to war with Rumburg. Tensions between the two countries have been escalating since Rayne took office, coming to a head in the past months following perceived provocation from Rumberg's side. Geopolitical will continue to provide updates on the developing conflict. I mean, yeah, fair enough. So, I mean, is there a next turn? I mean, I've looked at the wiki, albeit briefly, and as far as I know, there's only 10 turns. Is this just the conclusion? It's gotta be, right? I wanted to look at some of the achievements, that's why I went to the wiki. Sometime later. Well, the map hasn't changed, thankfully. Battle of Wholesword. Situation Room, Maroon Palace. I undid my tie slowly and rose from my seat in the protected bunker on the outskirts of Wholesword. I increased the volume of the crackling radio. The enemy is advancing on us, requesting backup. We are surrounded from all sides. I repeat, we're surrounded. They are using some kind of gas. Our soldiers' eyes and ears are bleeding. We need immediate assistance on Victory Avenue. Christ. Medics. We need medics. They are approaching the Maroon Palace. We must protect the president at all costs. Squad 6 will initiate the final charge while we barricade the palace. Please tell my wife I love her. Gracie Sordland. They're coming in through the outer gates. They killed everyone. We surrendered our weapons, but they won't stop shooting. If there is a God, I beg you, please end this. If there is anyone listening right now, please, the world needs to know what is going on. This is no longer a war. This is a massacre. Squad 2 out. I turned the radio off and swallowed hard. Nobody knew I wasn't at the palace, except for Losef. Miraculously, he managed to get my family here as well. Nobody knew I wasn't at the palace. Everyone thought you were. Okay. Are you not? Protective bunker. Oh, okay. Alright. Right now, he was monitoring communications in the adjoining room. I walked in and he saluted. The enemy is preparing to breach the palace. It's only a matter of time before they realize we're not there. How long until they find us? How long until they find us? That depends, sir. If your ex-secretary handed Rumberg the palace schematics, they might know about the tunnel that leads here from the Situation Room. But even if they do, this room was built to withstand nuclear attacks. We should be safe here for the moment. The diversion at the palace should buy us some time. Of course, the question is how much time. We have lost contact with the squadrons protecting the outer perimeter of the palace. Your guess is as good as mine at this point. After thanking Losef, I went back to the main room. I looked at Dina, Monica, and Frank. Dina started running to me, crying. I wiped her tears away. Papa, are we going to die? Death is never the end, my dear daughter. It comes to all of us at one point or another in our lives. No, we will not die, Dina. As long as I am here, don't worry. Oh, do I lie right at the end? I'm going to keep silent and hugging her. Anton, can you come here for a second? We went to a corner where Dina wouldn't be able to hear us. What is really going on? Tell me the truth. We are most likely done for. But Dina, Frank... She walked to Dina and Frank to hug them. Frank walked up to me. Dad, seriously, tell me, are we screwed? Don't fret, you are a Rayne. You have to be strong. So the answer is yes, then. Despite our location many meters underground, I felt the room shaking. It must have been the bombs. Losef came out of the communications room and pulled me aside. Sir, the palace is about to fall. One of the Rumberg combatants was overheard saying he'd located the tunnel entrance. I mean, Losef, what did I do wrong? What did I do to deserve this? What are we going to do? I already need to get us out of here immediately. I'm at the end of my rope here. I don't know, Mr. President. Maybe you were just at the wrong place at the wrong time. If I were you, I would start saying my prayers, sir. Look around and get comfortable. Because this room will be our grave. Oh, no! You only want me. I'm going to the palace. I want to see my office one last time. We will barricade ourselves in and hope for the best. That's not going to help. You only want me. I'm going to the palace. Are you mad? Don't you want to run? Do you want to run straight into the enemy's sights? I have a duty to this nation. I will not let anyone else die for me. Forget the fucking nation. You've shown me you are not a coward, Mr. President. It's one last battle for me, then. His eyes started shining. Yes, I always wanted to go out with a bang anyway. He took off his jacket and walked over to the bunker's weapon cache, loading himself up with everything that was left. He turned to me and gave me his handgun. Anton, don't you fucking dare. Sorry, Monica, it's the only way to save you and Dina. And Frank! You don't get to decide that. Don't open this door until after I leave, no matter what you hear. Oh, oh, that fucking hurts. Oh, God, number one, I just read it, like, you know, obviously I read it, I didn't internalize it. Oh, fuck. Oh, no. Oh, that hurts to look at. Because if he said that at that time, oh, that would be the fucking worst. Oh, Christ. I only got so much time left in the episode, but this is the end anyway. Don't open this door until I leave. After I leave, no matter what you hear. Losef punched a code into the panel on the door, and it slid open. As we left the bunker, it closed behind us with a final sounding thud. The small electric vehicle Losef had used to get me here from the palace was still outside. I should have told her I love you. We got in and drove down the dark passageways for several minutes until we reached the secret entrance to the Situation Room. You know, when all is said and done, I did care about my family deeply. We disembarked and cautiously approached the door. Voices could be heard on the other side. Losef shouldered his machine gun. We're here, Mr. President. Losef flung open the door and, in a flurry of gunfire, easily dispatched a small group of soldiers outside. The two of us cautiously crept through the room, then up to the palace's winding halls and staircases, avoiding footsteps when we heard them. Eventually we finally reached my office. Oh, do I have a speaker system? Am I gonna go out with a fucking song? Everything was the same as I had left it. I'll go check the perimeter, Mr. President. Be right back. Open the curtains and look outside. Sit in your chair for one last time. Pour yourself a glass. Oh, man, I'm gonna go out. The taste was as exquisite as ever. I looked at the chair in the front of my desk and remembered happier times with Peter. I raised my glass and finished it all. Sat in my chair for one last time. Sat down in my chair. I ran my hands over the leather armrests. I had always felt comfortable sitting here. My mind went back to all the conversations I had in this chair, all the important decisions I'd made. I wondered which of them had led me to this miserable end. Opened the curtains to look outside. I opened the curtains and looked out the window. Black smoke was rising from downtown Holsword. Buildings shook, groaned, and collapsed as bombs went off. From afar, I saw the bodies of people, civilians strewn across roads and sidewalks. Honestly, when I went for the open the curtain one, as it was the last one, I thought it would be I got shot immediately, but from afar, this is what had become of Holsword, of Sordland. The door to my office flew open. It was Losef. His shoulder was bleeding. Someone inside collapsed on the couch and took a huge slug of my whiskey. That's fair. You know what? There is no my anymore. It is ours. They are here, Mr. President. They're inside the palace. They're coming for you. I heard gunfire and more screams from the floor beneath us. Don't forget about that handgun I gave you. Of course, it's up to you how you want to use it. Oh, no. Oh, no! Mr. President, before I go, Losef tightened his grip on his shotgun. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for failing our country. We thought we had them trapped in Estord. Losef stared down at the floor, lost in regrets. It's my fault, General. I got us into an unwinnable war. We can't do anything about that now. All we can do is make our last stand. You're right. This is no. We can't do anything about that now. All we can do is make our last stand. I was interrupted by the sudden loud noise of gunfire in the hall outside. Well, that's my cue. He pointed to his belt. I saw several grenades hanging from it. Oh, with a bang, right? Losef turned to me. No matter what, it was an honor to serve you, sir. Likewise, Losef. I'll see you on the other side. He saluted me. I'll morgue now, West Corps. You know what? Fuck it. Losef ran to the door and opened it. I heard the metallic sounds of the pins being removed from the grenades. Grosser Sordland! Gunshots rang out. I feel like I have to put like a warning, like a content warning on this episode. I don't know, man. Horrors of war and all. Gunshots rang. I mean, this is clearly a video game, but like it is emulating it fairly immersively. Gunshots rang out and the ear-splitting explosion followed by silence. A good long minute passed, then I heard the faint sound of approaching footsteps. I redid my tie and looked at myself in the mirror before sitting down at my desk. I looked down at the gun Losef had given me and shifted it from one hand to the other. Do I get a choice? Please give me the choice. The door burst open and a soldier in Rumburgian uniform stormed in. He turned his rifle on me. Point the gun towards the soldier. Point the gun towards your own head. I'm not doing that. I couldn't do that. It is not something I want to do. I couldn't. That is not an option. It's not an option. I'm not gonna beg either. I got the country into this situation. I'm gonna go out with a fucking bang of my own. Point the gun towards a soldier. And that's it. That's the end. Chapter 4, checkmate. Oh, good. Funny. Love that. "1958, whole sword. You pointed the gun at the soldier, a young man, no more than Frank's age, unfairly asked to die for his country. A few more men burst in and started yelling at you to lower your weapon in broken swordish. You... Ooh, how do I go? I'm not gonna do it. I put down my gun. The soldiers reeled back, then retrained his gun on you, sneering. Monica cried out your name. You're prepared for the end. Another one of the men approached you and hit you with the headstock of his rifle. I blacked out. By the time I came to myself, you were in a Rumburg prison cell. Hours turned into days, and days turned into weeks. Guards and soldiers tormented you from dusk until dawn, scarring your mind and body long after you told them everything you knew about Sordland and your presidency. You asked about your family, but none of your questions were answered. When would it end? One day you were woken up with a splash of icy water. The warden told you that the Queen will pay you a visit. You prepared a makeshift knife and hid it well. You entered the cell. She entered the cell. You know what? You know what? Fuck this bitch. The prison guards quickly wrenched the knife out of your hands. Queen Beatrice Livingston demanded your immediate execution. You were forcibly brought before an electric chair. They strapped you to the seat. Please don't describe it. The metal cap was put on your head without wetting the sponge. Oh no! Oh, if you've seen the fucking Green Mile, you know what that means. And so Anton Rayne was no more. Hail the Queen. Achievement unlocked. Okay, well. Between 1954 and 1958, 2.2 million civilians have died in the war. 57% fewer maternal deaths were recorded. Well, that's good. During street clashes, 52 police officers and 228 protesters were killed. 8,821 protesters were arrested. 33,760 people were arrested for their suspected ties to Red Youth and Young Swords. 589,112 Swordish lives were lost during the Rumburg invasion. 3,390 people with Bludish descent were jailed and 239 were killed. 3,899 legal cases were delayed. 11,340 domestic violence cases were reported. 81,340 companies declared bankruptcy. 5 million people lost their state health care coverage. Interesting. Okay. Anton Rayne, 4th president of Sordland. Yeah. Spouse. Alma Mater, economics. So, that was, Suzerain. Possibly, history will remember you as centrist. That was possibly the most immersive role-playing game I've ever played. I've never run a country before, obviously, but God, do I feel like I have. And every decision I thought was good, even if it was good, didn't matter. None of it mattered. Because in the end, all I did was screw shit up. I had good intentions basically the whole time, as far as I know. Maybe I did a few things for the meme, maybe I did a few things for the laughs, whatever. For the most part, I tried to be a good person, and I tried to run a good country, but this game has single-handedly, like, fucking... Hang on, let me take off my thing so I can clap for real. Fucking... This was a fantastic experience. It was so goddamn phenomenal. It was so immersive, so intimately familiar with politics and the world it made and everything. Every decision had an outcome. It didn't matter how small it was, it mattered. Like, it changed things. I'm gonna go back to the main menu in a second, I'm still talking. I wasn't prepared for that, and this game has single-handedly taught me that people in charge of countries have a lot more to deal with. Like, obviously, I thought, it's an important job. You're running a country. That's no small task. But fucking, oh my God. I will never encourage anyone to ever run for any political position. I will never encourage anyone to be the leader of fucking anything. The people who run countries, fucking respect them. You know how fucking garbage their jobs are? Clearly, it's all terrible all the time forever, and you can't fix dick, because everyone will hate you if you do. And there is no morality because everything is awful. Oh, Suzerain, what the fuck did you do to me? I used to be political, now I hate politics. Specifically, I hate being in charge of it. God damn it. I'm gonna play this again. Not for the camera, of course. Not for the camera. I'm gonna play this again in my own time because, and this is very important to note, I want to see the other endings. I want to see how I could actually fix the country, fix the economy, put money towards all the things. I need to fix Sordland, and I need to not let Rumburg win the war. I need to put all of the money into the military, and every decision that keeps everything, like, advanced and high-tech, and has all of the people, and then we just fucking storm the country and ruin their shit. And I'm emotional because I just lost to Rumburg and was in prison forever. I need to win this game, and I'm going to do it as spitefully as possible. I'm gonna make every fucking flawless decision checkmark. I'm gonna like Groundhog Day this goddamn entire game, and I'm gonna do it with fucking fire in my eyes and spite in my breath. I'm gonna fucking win, and I'm gonna win hard. But goddamn, was that Suzerain? This will go in my memory alongside Night in the Woods and Rumu, because it was so good. It was so good. But that'll have to be it for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Of course, I'm Keywii. You can rate tune yourself for a delightful day. I love you all. Goodbye. See you in the next series, man.